Hello everybody, welcome along. My name is Benjamin Bloom. This is the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel. Please leave your bias at the door and join us for our dearly departed preview for the Premier League round 35. We're looking at our dearly departed friends who have found their way out of the Championship, although I hate to say it now, but I'm quite resigned to the fact that perhaps three of them will be finding their way back to the Championship next season. We'll discuss that when we do the previews. We got 5 games to talk about with our dearly departed teams, of course, Sheffield United, Aston Villa, Leeds, West Brom and Fulham. Before we do that, let's say thank you to Jay. He's our fan sponsor. Jay Coyle, dearly departed, also known as Ben, couldn't bear to lose us. Absolutely not. That's why we're here. And let me know, you dearly departed fans, and I'm speaking directly really to Leeds and Villa fans here. What do you think about Norwich and Watford coming back? And who do you want out of Swansea, Barnsley, Brentford, Bournemouth? That's going to be our lineup next season by the look of things, unless we can predict some great results for Fulham and West Brom. Let's see what we can do. Here are our round 35 fixtures. It is tonight. I'm recording early on Friday morning. It's Leicester versus Newcastle. Then into the Saturday games, Leeds versus Spurs. Look, we'll try and keep some kind of eye on that, but we have this seismic Sheffield Wednesday and Derby game in the Championship, which we'll be looking at on the Super Stream. Then Sheffield United and Palace. Wasn't that a playoff final once? 98? 97? Can't remember. David Hopkin? 98 I'm going for. Manchester City versus Chelsea. That's going to be the Champions League final, isn't it? Liverpool versus Southampton, the Kevin Keegan derby there. Into Sunday's games. Wolves versus Brighton. Well, the dearly departed just need Brighton and Burnley and all of those teams around there to just lose every game now, Newcastle. But we'll see. Aston Villa versus Manchester United. The Dwight York derby, let's call that one, amongst others. Roy Keane would like it to be the Jack Grealish derby, considering what he was saying the other day. West Ham versus Everton. Arsenal versus West Brom. That is on Sunday night. Then on Monday night, Fulham versus Burnley. We'll see how things are progressing by then. There is, now I got this wrong last week, there is a midweek round next week, so we may go early and I could try and watch along or review in isolation Fulham and Burnley. So we're going to go from the highest ranking game down to the lowest, which means this week we are starting with Aston Villa versus Manchester United. Obviously, Manchester United in the news for non-footballing reasons, well, footballing, non-footballing reasons, didn't get to play their game last weekend against Liverpool. I'm sure that's been done to death, but feel free to comment on it if you so desire. Last night, they played Roma away in the Europa League and completed the job. Look, they were 6-2 up. I suppose from a dearly departed point of view, not too bothered about what the score was. Will it affect Manchester United this weekend, having gone to Italy? Look, we talk about this a lot, proximity of games. Travel, I'm sure, luxury travel, they would have been back on the ground and in their beds in the wee small hours and having a bit of a rest today. But not ideal. That's the deal, though, when you're one of the teams in Europe, isn't it? And you can see Manchester United second in the Premier League, only 4 defeats this season. However, look at that, only 5 games to go there. Maximum upside, you can get another 15, so 82 points. So were they to not win this game, or were Manchester City to win their game, then the title race will end. We kind of expected it might have done last week with Manchester United scheduled to play Liverpool. We thought Liverpool may be able to get something, but so the title race could be over, and Manchester United really look solid for a Champions League spot and potential European trophy there. All of this means, will they rest some players? Now, this is not the most important thing on their schedule, but look down there, decent run if you add in the European games as well. I know we're just covering the Premier League games here. Plenty of points going on the board. Not many defeats. Well, through the whole season, not many defeats. That was the team that played in the last game against Leeds. Henderson, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire, Shaw, McTominay, Fred, Rashford, Fernandes, James and Greenwood. We will see in terms of who was out there last night. I know Cavani was on form and he's not likely to play the couple of games. Greenwood started, didn't he? Fernandes started. I just think looking at Manchester United now, if you're facing them, you hope that it's the front line, isn't it? Rashford, Greenwood, Pogba, Cavani, etc., etc. That maybe you get a bit of a rest from one or other of those guys. But hey, it's not all about Manchester United. Our team are Aston Villa in this one. Jack Grealish update, which it is every single show now, isn't it? Said on Monday, a week or 10 days. So they seem to have slated the game against Everton. Don't adjust your sets. Yes, I know they played Everton in the last game, but they're playing them again. I think it must be a COVID issue, cancellation there from whenever it needed to be fitted in. And that game's on Thursday, I believe, and maybe Captain Jack's going to be back on the bench for that. However, look at the last two games, 4 points in there. Switching back to the 4-2-3-1, solid. Particularly look at the back seven, Martinez, Kashkonza, Mings, Target, McGinn, Louise. And then also Barkley, Watkins, one of El Ghazi and Traore, and then Grealish was, I thought, the best setup for Villa this season. And Barkley's back in, motivated for whatever reason against his old club, against Everton, and played against West Brom, I think, as well. So hopefully there's something there in terms of the balance of that Villa team, and strong at the back, but seem to be lacking going forward. I think there's one win in 11 before the Everton game, and that is obviously all without Grealish. In terms of the big picture, it's very good. Still got the game in hand there over Leeds and Arsenal. So perhaps 9th place is targetable. Again, Arsenal played in Europe last night, not as successfully as Manchester United did. And also, they are playing Everton in another game's time. If they were to do a quick double over Everton, then the absolute dream scenario for Villa here, and I don't know if I'm in the realms of fantasy, is a run towards the end of the season, a double over Everton, Grealish returning, and could even target as high as 8th. Of course, that could go the other way, although I don't see them going any lower than Leeds with that 6-point gap between Villa and Wolves in the bottom half, and only 4 games to go for the Wolves. Look, this one is going to be tough. We'll play the there's no Grealish card again, but better in the last game. Watkins and El Ghazi doing the damage. Barkley looks a bit more back at it. And then it's just the wild card of Manchester United. Will they be tired? How focused will they be also? Forgive me. Let me just bring back up the Manchester City. So look, the title could already have gone to Manchester City by the time this game was played. I just wonder whether psychology and fitness could play into Villa's hands. I don't see Villa winning, I have to say. I do think Manchester United are peaking fairly well now towards the end of this season, and it's been pretty good for them this season generally on the pitch, hasn't it? So I will optimistically, with my Dearly Departed hat on it goes, suggest that Manchester United might be tired, they might rest a few psychologically, other things will be in the way, and there's other priorities, and Villa might be able to get themselves a draw in this one at best. Let me know what you think. Try and present me logical arguments for Villa winning, because obviously with our Dearly Departed hats on, that would be good. But I'm afraid with my logical hat on, it's a bit trickier to argue. So Aston Villa versus Manchester United. Get your thoughts in the comments. Moving on, Leeds versus Spurs. Now, slightly worrying. Costa out for the season. Rafinha and Phillips doubts. Cooper back from suspension. So particularly midfield and wide midfield as well. Leeds are undermanned. The game against Brighton, all of my Leeds friends and you Dearly Departed guys I spoke to were a bit down on it, was a bit flat. It didn't work. No Calvin Phillips is obviously an issue for Leeds. Such an important role he plays in that Bielsa system, dropping in between the centre-backs, deep line playmaker, circulating the ball, switching the play, being in the right place at the right time when the ball's coming the other direction. Just a very important player. Robin Koch in there, according to SofaScore. So not ideal when you look at the back triangle of Strauch, Llorente and Koch. Essentially, you've taken Cooper out of there. You've taken Phillips out of there. Now, Bielsa has tried many things in the absence of Calvin Phillips, including, you can see there, Koch. We've seen Strauch there. We've seen Click there. We've seen Dallas there. I just wonder what he's going to do this time, especially considering no Rafinha and no Costa. So essentially, Stuart Dallas may just have to be stuck out on that right-hand side again, which is a struggle. Let me know what you think in terms of, would it be better to put Cooper back into defence and maybe push Strauch in there, maybe leave Koch there? I don't know. I mean, it's one bit of good news for Leeds that finally Cooper, Koch, Strauch, Llorente are all fit now, because there have been points in the season they've barely had any centre-backs, haven't they? So that's good news. But Bielsa runs a tight, small squad, doesn't he? And in this COVID season, it just feels like they've been a little bit unlucky. It's never really been fit all at the same time. I said a few games ago, actually, you can see back, I wanted to slap myself on the back, those 3 straight wins there, Fulham, Blades and Manchester City. That was as close as it was to actually being all fully fit. And now we've got this drop-off with the wide players and with Phillips, obviously. So, a bit frustrating for Leeds fans. And certainly, I suspect you Leeds fans watching will be wanting a little bit of extra depth. Maybe 1 or 2 more in number there. But, hey, Bielsa knows what he wants to do. And if he wants that small squad, I'm sure he'll stick with that small squad. But, look, the schedule is not going to be as mental next season as it has been this season. With all of that being said, they face Spurs under Ryan Mason, who have had 2 good results on the bounce. Thrashed Sheffield United, beat Southampton 2-1. Both home games, both games against bottom 6 teams who are not trending in the right direction. However, a little bit of more of a sense of freedom now for Spurs that maybe they didn't have under Jose Mourinho. And of course, Gareth Bale, hat-trick in the last game. He's been a bona fide world-class player. Will he now come into form and add to the output that's just been sensational from Heung-min Son, Harry Kane? Look, Dele Alli starting in the last game as well. Lots of interesting players, a few with a point to prove. And just the worry of Leeds not being at full strength. Plus, maybe Bale coming into form, Kane, Son, you know the names, etc. Now, what I do think is that Spurs will be more open than if Mourinho was the manager. And, I mean, let's be honest, it's not that important in terms of who's in the Leeds starting lineup in respects of their pattern of play. They're still going to do exactly what they always do. So I don't know. Do their chances of scoring increase, but also their chances of conceding increase, especially without Phillips, but Cooper back? I don't know. It feels a tough one here. It's just a tough show today with these fixtures, isn't it? Feels a tough one for me to predict Leeds winning. But look, Bamford will still be there. Harrison will still be there in terms of attacking output. Dallas has been so consistent. Roberts, does he actually put the output in there? I wonder if Rodrigo could work his way back in. I'm pretty sure he's fit as well. I'm afraid I don't see Leeds winning this game for all of the reasons I've said. So again, I'm going to go optimistically and stick the hat on and say, could they get a draw? I don't know. I'm just a bit concerned with the, especially with the absence of Phillips and the problems out wide and not being able to perhaps use Dallas to help out, that Spurs might get the win in this one. But again, present me your theories as to why that may be wrong. Let's get some optimistic stuff going as it pertains to our dearly departed. So do get involved in the comments on all of that. Leeds versus Spurs. Moving on, Fulham versus Burnley, and we're really just in last chance saloon now. So let's go straight to the league table there, look in the middle. And Fulham have 4 games to go. Maximum upside is now 39 points. Look at the goal difference, minus 16 for Burnley, minus 20 for Fulham. We're now at the point where if Burnley were to win this game, I think even a draw, isn't it? Let me do my maths quickly, 28 and 37. So look, if Burnley win the game, Fulham are down, aren't they? Burnley go to 39. Fulham maximum upside then becomes 36. So it could be Fulham relegated after this game, which is the late game. It's the Monday night game. So basically, in short, Fulham have to win, don't they? That would make things a little bit more interesting. It would close up the gap. But look, it's a direct rival. They could go, then be Fulham on 30 and Burnley on 36. They just have to win. And the worry is that the way Burnley are set up, can they punish Fulham's deficiencies with some nice, efficient, quick transitions, a bit of physicality up the top? And they really took their chances in that game against Wolves recently, didn't they? A 4-0 win in there. There's been plenty of defeats as well against West Ham, Manchester United, Newcastle, Southampton. So they have lost against some fellow bottom 6, bottom 7, 8 teams down there, haven't they? They were leading 2-0 in that game, I think, if I'm remembering correctly, against Southampton. So there is something there for Fulham, but they've got to play well and they've got to cope with the power of Chris Wood and Vidra and the service from McNeil and Brownhill. Set plays with Tarkowski and me as well. It's not going to be easy, and Fulham really know they have to win. And Fulham just don't win at the moment, do they? They've come into this vital last part of the season and just not won any games, have they? It's been a shame, but look at that last 6 down there in the centre for Fulham. 1 point, 5 defeats, and the goals dropping off as well. I can only see, I think, 3 goals, max. Late goals conceded. All the signs of a team that's just clinging on in there, but just maybe hasn't been good enough this season. Areola, Iain, Anderson had Rabiot, Robinson last time across the back, Anguissa, Lamina, Lookman, Reed, Cavaliero, and Madja. Look, it's a straightforward one. I don't want Fulham going down. They're one of our dearly departed sides. We know that defeat will do it. Obviously, with Newcastle being where they are as well, were Newcastle to manage to get a victory, then it really, really decreases the chances. Let me just scroll back a couple of screens and you'll see Newcastle are playing at Leicester tonight. So we're really going to know a lot more, aren't we, after tonight? And Fulham just desperately, and we'll talk about it as it pertains to West Brom as well, desperately need Leicester to beat Newcastle and Fulham need themselves to beat Burnley. So I think it might be an unhelpful draw, but I've got to put my dearly departed hat on and try and make sure we got something to talk about in these last games of the season. So let's go for a Fulham victory with our fingers and everything crossed. But Sean Dyche, Burnley, not an easy opponent, really, is it? Let me know what you think in the comments. With my fingers crossed, that was Fulham versus Burnley. Arsenal versus West Brom. And again, look at the table. West Brom need something to happen in the Newcastle games and the Burnley games. Doesn't matter about Fulham for the time being for West Brom. It's okay if Fulham win because they'll be stopping a rival. But West Brom themselves need to go to Arsenal and win. Look at the maximum upside now for West Brom. One fewer than Fulham's potential total, which would take it to 38. I mean, I didn't mention, I guess, Brighton and Southampton into the bargain there also. But, yeah, it's all very, very tight down at the bottom there. And again, a defeat for West Brom. There'll be 3 games to go. They can only get 35 then. So a defeat for West Brom would indeed confirm relegation this weekend. West Brom have improved under Big Sam. I'm sure he'll argue, and I'm sure the maths would argue, that if he'd been there all season, the points per game, they'd probably be either safe or looking safe or in a similar position to where Newcastle, Burnley, Southampton are. Again, though, that would only happen if someone else dropped into the bottom 3 and took up their role. So it's easy to present the maths, but you know the argument. Last game, couldn't get the win against Wolves, and so many draws this season. Only Brighton and Fulham with more draws than West Brom. And obviously lots of draws, and down the bottom means you haven't won many games. And the back-to-back wins there, it was going to need something like sort of win, win, loss, draw, win, win across that size sample of games to turn the screw. They haven't been able to do it, despite the fact Pereira, Diagne, both playing well, Johnston performing well in goal, getting good numbers there. Please don't get emotional about the sofa score ratings, by the way. It's just an algorithm. I swear I get one comment per video about them pretty much. They're not mine. It's a machine, hey. Arsenal's not a machine. They crashed out, didn't they, in the Europa League last night? Will they be tired? Will they be psychologically damaged by that? I don't know. Good win for them up at Newcastle. Not many defeats coming in. And, I mean, if you look at the run for Arsenal down there with 8 points in those last 6 games, it is the same as West Brom. So not too much in the actual form. Obviously quite a lot in the table and the points total, 49. But I guess the big question is, will anybody be rested after Thursday? What will the Arsenal mentality be like now that chance of winning that silverware is gone? Can West Brom capitalise? It's hard, isn't it? Very, very hard. Again, I'm just going to go with blind optimism and say that Big Sam could do it and capitalise on Arsenal playing on Thursday and being knocked out and all of the things that we've mentioned. Can he get amongst them? Look, Leeds go there and win? I can't remember. No, they didn't, did they? Villa went to Arsenal and won, didn't they? So we have had a dearly departed sign. Fulham nearly did it as well. 97th minute equalised. That was the day the European Super League all broke, didn't it? So, look, I'll again optimistically predict West Brom can go there and win just to keep things interesting. But it's going to be tough. Let me know what you think in the comments. And we're into dead rubber land, really, aren't we, with Sheffield United and Palace. I mean, Palace are on 38. As things stand, they could be caught by both Fulham and West Brom, but that is requiring Palace to lose all of their last 5 games and Fulham and West Brom to win all of their last 5 games. So we're into the realms of the thoroughly unrealistic, aren't we? And it's a game against the Blaze, which has been an easy game for a lot of teams this season, hasn't it? And the Blades lost 4-0 at Spurs last time out. Just can't get a first team out, can't get a win. Although, I say that, they've actually won the same amount of games as Fulham and West Brom down the bottom there, but obviously 27 defeats. Wow, a vast number there. Is there another one coming here? I'm not so sure, actually. Sander Berger could return. Did he come off the bench in the last game? I don't totally recall, but I know he's been mooted for a return when I looked at the possible fitness here. It was Ramsdale, Baldock, Egan, Basham again, no. O'Connell in that one. He hasn't been there all season. Basham having to swap sides, we think, with Baldock taking over there, a right back. Just been so short-handed at the back, haven't they? Bogle, Stevens, Norwood, Fleck, Osborne, McGoldrick, Brewster. I've said a couple of times, nice to see Brewster getting a run. Would be even nicer to see him on the score sheet, for goodness sake, wouldn't it? Looking ahead. Next season with the Blades, confirmed a few weeks ago as being in the Championship. For Palace, 3 straight defeats. More sort of rumblings about Roy the Boy. And next season, will he still be there? Will he be retiring at any point soon? It's been Manchester City, Leicester and Chelsea they've lost to be fair. So not exactly easy games, were they? And then you look beneath there, did get a draw against Everton and did get a win against West Brom. So they punched their weight, Palace, and I suspect with Zaha, Eze, Benteke, Townsend, those attacking players, I think they're probably going to have enough to win this one. And very depressingly, not that I want to be saying it, inflict a 28th defeat on Sheffield United. Let me know what you think. Let me know your arguments otherwise. Sheffield United did get a win against Brighton, didn't they? So there is that, I guess, but I'm not seeing it, I'm afraid. Get your comments in. Sheffield United versus Palace. That's our show. Thank you to Jay Coyle, Dearly Departed, also known as Ben, couldn't bear to lose us. Bit low-key today, isn't it? Bit worrying with Villa facing Manchester United, Leeds and Spurs with injured players at Leeds and the teams down at the bottom being right on the edge of potential relegation this round. We will try and keep the spirits up in the remaining weeks. Maybe we can do some different type videos as well if there are dead rubbers. Although we've got the 3-game week this week, there is the midweek round, so we will be at game 37 by the end of the week, and we will know a lot more. And I mean, you tell me, will all our dearly departed dreams be dashed with Fulham and West Brom? Will they be relegated by the time we're sitting here next Friday predicting the next round? I think we know the likely answer to that, but we live in hope, don't we? We live in hope. That was our Dearly Departed show. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you for watching through the season as well. Keep involved in the channel. No, it's been a bit Championship focused, but that is in the main the idea. And we've got the playoffs coming up in the Championship. Check that out, and then we can all hopefully get together and watch the Euros together in the close season, which isn't a close season really when we've got the Euros, but I think we can all bandy together for that. So please do keep in touch with the channel as the season does wind down. We'll do season reviews for each of the clubs as well. Let me know any requests for any types of Dearly Departed videos as well. I have been asked to do a team of the season, which we will get done at some point. But looking up at my whiteboard, there is a lot to be getting on with the playoffs coming up. So with that being said, I've probably got to produce about another 8 bits of content today. The day is young. I'm feeling energetic. So I will say goodbye to you guys in Dearly Departed land. And we'll see you for the review show where hopefully we won't have to lament 2 more teams being relegated. Fingers crossed, eh? Thank you for watching. Over and out. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button to see more videos from this channel. Hit the subscribe button and to be notified every time we upload. Ring the bell for those notifications to come through on your device. If you really want to support the channel and me as a content creator, I will be eternally grateful if you head over to the merch store and grab something, or support over on Patreon, patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. Thank you for your time. Go and watch another video.